guys, there's my shop. Start on a walk today and see how we go. I listened to you guys' advice and I fixed the gimbal, and also you guys want to see more of the sights around rather than my giant head in the videos. So here we go. So here is this little roundabout here, and this place is where the faction fights used to be held in Killorglin. They used to have the two groups, like there'd be the group over there, and then on this side would be the other group. And on fair days, there's where the faction fights used to be held. Must come back here some morning when it's a bit quieter, and then you can see a lot better. And so we're going to go on a walk home today to where I live, go for my lunch, but we'll take the scenic route, I suppose. So here is just kind of like a little road that brings you up towards the church in Killorglin. And as you can see, as always, it's always quite busy in town around this time. So it's around kind of lunchtime. And but again, we've got a nice dry day today. It's probably going to be raining for the next while again. Here's yet another car park that you can kind of park along the way. Nothing too much exciting to cut here. Maybe that would make a nice cudgel or something someday. So we'll continue on now with our journey, and there'll be some nice sights along the way as we get away from the town a little bit. So here's another way that I like to go home sometimes. It's a bit more scenic than the other way that I took the last day, and I'll try to maybe do a few more of these kind of walks and stuff around town and stuff. That's just some local sculpture. It's not quite as provocative as some of these sculptures you see in some towns. I think of the live stream last week, we had some good fun looking at these various dodgy sculptures and monuments in towns around the world. I think Liverpool's banana sheep was quite one that came to mind. That was quite fun. So yeah, here we're going now, and we're probably going to cut down this little road in a second. So here's coming up to the church. This is a church that was built in the 1880s. The priest, I think it was Father Lawler, he went to America for 10 years or something and collected up a lot of funds, and then when they had enough money they came back and built this church here. So I'll just kind of show you, there's the kind of church. But before we get to that, there's this thing I want to show you. There's the old wind turbine again. So these were the four guys that passed away during the Irish War of Independence. They were the first casualties of the War of Independence on Good Friday in 1916. They were driving this vehicle, and their mission was to knock out the radio signal place in Carsavine, so that the British couldn't send a message back to get more troops. But tragically, these guys they took a wrong turn, and they went off a pier and into the ocean. And I'll bring you down to Ballacassan Pier someday as well on a walk. But here we have like a little monument that was kind of put up there recently, like about that as well. So yeah, I can go into that another day. But here you have a nice church as we kind of like continue our walk down. So like that car was trying to avoid the town back in 1916, so they decided to like go out this road, but at the end of that road there's a pier. Might walk out that someday. But so there's your last look at the town. There's the church, and the town, and down that way is just where I walked. So I'm going to now head off this general direction down to the the Iron Bridge, and we'll walk across the Iron Bridge, and then I can kind of cut around to where I live. So you guys can admire the views of Killorglin. And here's a little road that'll bring you down to the you see that kind of iron bridge over there. That bridge itself used to be how people used to go to you know, to Killarney and Tralee or places like that, or up the country when they needed to go to football matches usually. But back in the was it late 50s or 60s, I can't really remember exactly, that bridge was taken, was not used anymore, and the train was cancelled. I think people were starting to use cars and stuff a bit more, and they didn't really see the need for the train like too much. So so yeah, that's kind of all I really know about the Iron Bridge. It's that here you can see some of the river there. A bit more nice scenery along the way. But yeah, like I go on a lot of these walks. Like I should bring the camera along and just kind of talk away to myself. And it's always kind of funny that, you know, anytime I try to do something like this before, you run into a few people, and you get the you always get the interesting kind of views and stuff along the way as you go. But like, we don't get many days like this in Kerry or Killorglin. It's supposed to be raining, I think, for the day after and for another 2 weeks. So whenever we get a day like today with blue skies like this, we have to kind of take advantage of it. There's a kind of B&B called Aloha House. All the women love doing their Reiki and yoga and chanting and all that kind of stuff up there. Not really my kind of thing. So we'll go up here now. A lot of people used to be walking their dogs, and they walk along here as well. But it's a nice walk, and it's good to get out and get a bit of exercise as you kind of go along. It'd be interesting for you guys just to kind of see a bit more of my life of outside of stick making too, and see where I do. So that kind of brings you up towards the school, and here we're going like towards the Iron Bridge. So there's two people walking above. Starting to get a bit overgrown, as it does, but that's kind of nice. You can get some nice views from here. I think you'll enjoy. But yeah, no, I'm kind of lucky. Like, here's some interesting. If you guys figure out what that is, keep things a bit mysterious as well. But yeah, here is also where the local teenagers, you know, during COVID and stuff, they would always come down here to be, you know, drinking their alcohol and stuff. So usually under the Iron Bridge here is where all the teenagers go and have a few cans of beers and stuff like that. So pretty much every Friday night, you know, they're always down here as well. But they're kind of like teenagers in a kind of country setting. They're pretty harmless. Look here, let's get some of these nice views here. So there you have Killorglin. There's the county bridge. In the background you have the McCaffrey Crafts, and the highest mountain in Ireland is there, Carrauntoohil. You can see it there, the highest point. Actually, I must mean the wife are talking. We must go up Carrauntoohil soon, so you might bring you along for that sometime too. But yeah, like, and this is the River Lown. It goes all the way to Rosscastle in Killarney, and then it goes out into Dingle Bay, the opposite direction. So I come here a lot just for walks with the kids and with the dogs and different things as well. And when I was growing up, I'd be fishing quite a lot on this river. You'd see all the old men fishing from the bridge, and I'd be fishing, like, you know, it's probably like over there. There's a little quay. I'll show you the other side too. So here's the bridge, and there's that eyesore, that turbine thing. But just bring you along here now so you can kind of see. I'll show you another place I used to go fishing but never caught any fish. Wait, I think you can see. You see there's a little pier here. I used to go fishing there all the time, never caught a thing, never. And then you see, the only reason I used to go there is because this house here, these guys, they used to fish here and they always used to catch fish, because they used to like leave their rubbish and throw bits and things there, so all the fish used to come down to them. And you know, so that's how they used to do it. So I'll just kind of walk up here now, and we'll pick a spot that'll give a better view of this side of the river. So here you have the river Lown, and what we'll do is we'll kind of walk, make our way down there, and we'll have a nice little river walk on the way home as well. But yeah, like there's loads of these lovely walks around Ireland and Kerry, and you know, you just have to kind of speak to someone local, because like there's not much information like about this. Like, you know, it's like everything in politics, every little area is promoting their little spot as being the best. But like Killorglin is it's kind of like your gateway to the Ring of Kerry, because of like all the traffic and stuff, and cars usually just drive by and they never really stop and, you know, try to say, oh, there's a stick maker here, oh, there's a nice river there, oh, there's a great walk, there's an old iron bridge, you know, and different things like that. Like, so a lot of people kind of, you know, neglect stopping in Killorglin, County Kerry. But who knows, like these type of videos might stay up for the next 50 to 100 years, and be interesting if someone is watching this video 100 years from now. Hello from the past, and you know, I wonder how it's changed. Because that's the thing about YouTube, like, that I find quite interesting, is that, like, you know, what you're going to put out there is going to kind of stay out there, like, you know, unless YouTube, like, you know, has some kind of major issue, but I doubt it. Like, but here you can see, like, is a typical little kind of path that you know, people would have been walking in and out to town here years to come. It would have been a bit of a shortcut and in across the bridge then. And there's not really much blackthorn or stuff here, or any kind of useful type of wood. You know, you get like a bit of whitethorn and stuff, maybe a bit of ash and things like that. So that's what you kind of mostly would see about there. Always like sycamore and chestnut, like seems to be quite a lot. You get a lot of holly as well, that you see from time to time. Here, look, we'll just, you know, there, that's the leaves of the Hawthorne tree, so you can kind of see it. Many people always mistaken that for blackthorn. Some hazel as well, I see along the way here. So a lot of different types of woods, but it's always kind of cool as you're walking along here. It's like kind of step back in time. You're going somewhere that's a little bit kind of difficult, or different. I mean, let's kind of watch my step too, and then we'll kind of go. We'll swing a little. There's a little area you can kind of jump down. Must be careful not to drop. So I'm not wearing the best of shoes today, but well, you make do what you have. And you know, there's a big kind of ravine down in each side, and you can see, you know, you have to go way down there, and you know, there's some trees that fell down during the storm and different things like that. But there's a big kind of ravine, like on both sides, that I'm sure some people have the misfortune of falling into every now and again. But yeah, so like, you know, that's my life, and I'll be doing a live stream today at 6 o'clock. If anyone wants to oh, sorry, I'll probably put this video up on Saturday, so disregard that. The live stream has probably already happened. I usually do it for an hour, just kind of connect to the community. I always just thought it was kind of like important for people. Now, 1 second, I need to get down this type of ravine, so just bear with me for a second so I don't. All right, there we go. Sorry, I just kind of came down that kind of area there. Now it's kind of a bit steep, but there's a few little places you can kind of go. So that brings you back to that factory Estelis. But what we're going to do is head down towards the river today, and lot of kind of like hawthorn and stuff, and is kind of growing here. I think they just planted a bunch of hawthorn beside the factory. So there's loads of that around the place. It's like the most common thing you kind of can see. That's why people use it a lot, and call it blackthorn as well. But yeah, like, you know, this is the kind of road less traveled around Killorglin. You know, here's lunchtime on a sunny day, and we're not running into too many people yet. I think usually in the evening you'll see a few people maybe walking their dogs around here as well. But yeah, like, you know, you have to always maintain these paths too. I wonder who does that, because it doesn't take long for the for nature to try to reclaim things as well. You know, a bit of a swampy type of area that we're kind of going through at the moment. But just at the top here around the corner we'll hit the river, and we'll get to see some nice sights and different things as well. Here's another kind of area you can kind of like cut down and stuff, but it's a bit slippery there. I usually fall on my ass when when I try to walk down that direction. So you know, if you're looking for a little rural walk around Killorglin, here's one now that I'm bringing you on. It doesn't take too long. What are we now, about 16 minutes in? Probably another maybe 10 minutes walk to my home. And here you can, you know, see some things. Oh, look, you can see some as I was saying before, a lot of the teenagers come drinking beer. Look at that. That's Bulmer's cider. So, you know, they always come down here because there's no one around. You know, drink a few cans of Bulmer's. That's a typical drink of teenagers. It's like a cider, so it's easier to drink because they don't like to take the beer because they're still young. But what was it? I think I didn't really start drinking till I was about 16. I think when I was growing up, that was kind of, you know, some guys were just like started drinking at about 14. You know, the older lads with the older brothers that were a bit taller and looked a bit older. I kind of was a late starter at 16. But you know, here's a little kind of history there of the Iron Bridge. You can pause the video there and kind of like take a moment to read through. I'll just kind of go in a bit closer there, so you can pause that bit. You can pause here as well, and there you can kind of like read that rather than have me you know, kind of read through it. So here we're coming to the Riverwalk, and here's that monstrosity that I'm not a fan of, that air wind turbine windmill type of thing. But like, you know, it's pretty close. Look, there's a home over there, and like if you look over here, like there's not a great distance there. It'd be about 250 meters maybe, or something like that. Like it's not that far. But yeah, you'd often see some guys like standing here and fishing as well. But they never catch. You're not going to catch anything here, and there's loads of like weeds. So your hook, there's the kind of the bridge. So just kind of walk along like down here. We continue on with our walk. It's actually turned out to be quite a nice day, and different types of things you can see along the way. You don't want to walk in there or you'll disappear. It's quite deep and swampy, so you want to stay on the path. But you know, sometimes the river can get quite high and it can go over this path and different things. And you know, it's me and the son were walking one day, and it was during spring tide, and you know, we thought we'd go for a walk, and the tide came in pretty high, and it wasn't long before we're on this path and we're up to our knees, and I had him on my shoulder and we're trying to escape. But you know, you have to be aware of these things, but sometimes, you know, you're just not paying attention and you can get caught. So you always have to respect the you know, nature and different things like that. So it's usually around like November time or winter time or stuff like that. You know, there's quite a lot of rain, and you know, the tide comes in, and you hit it with the spring tide, and there's some sea surge storm in the ocean. Like you know, it can come up over this path by, you know, probably about 4 or 5 feet, a bit higher than. Okay, I think it just cut out there for a second, so we'll continue on. with our journey. I don't know how long there it was cut out for. I was just talking away for a bit, but yeah, I was just saying there that me and my son, we found quite a lot of bottles as you go down like a bit further on here, and I'll show you the spot that we came to. So pretty soon here we'll be kind of we'll be going away from the river and heading a bit back inland as well, and we'll pass this football training ground where the local GAA football team play. In Killorglin, the local football team is called the Lough Rangers. So Lough like the river, so the Lough Rangers, and their football colour jersey is blue. When talking about football, we're talking about the GAA, which is the Irish national pastime. That and hurling as well. I suppose camogie you could say as well to an extent. And here's another one of these signs for any of you guys who are interested. Talking about what you see around here. So you can just pause that for a second, and I think that's clear enough for you guys to have a read on that. So we'll continue on again. So here's a spot you see people come down, maybe have some picnic, or again some teenagers will have some beers. There you can see someone was drinking a beer and left it, and they had like little campfires. So sometimes the water gets quite low, and we can walk out to that island. You see that island over there? And on that island and all around it, we found loads of bottles. There's loads there. It's actually a pretty good place. And we walked and we explored and we dug and we had a look, and we got plenty of bottles there. Like the oldest we got was about like bottles from the 1880s. This Mullen Brothers mineral water bottles from Tralee, and they're worth about like €50 seemed to be offered, but that was what a local guy who wanted to resell them was offering it. So I wonder what the value of it. So he was willing to pay my son €50, and he wasn't giving my son the best price. So we know that it's worth a lot more than €50 for that particular bottle. But I might put that on the site someday and get some opinion of the value of it, because it's actually my son's bottle, so it's up to him what he wants to do with it. I left him keep all the bottles. So now we're heading up a little boreen, and there actually will be some blackthorn up here that I know of, because years ago I remember clearing out a nice little patch of blackthorn up along here. So we'll just continue now on a bit. Nice little area. There should be some old cottages and stuff up here too, but this is like the most common walk that I kind of do. It can get quite muddy and flooded and stuff here as well, but yeah, it's going to be like that in most places. So these, as I said, is called like a boreen. You'd always see the grass in the middle of these type of Irish boreens as you're going along. And years ago, I suppose, people would come down here to throw their rubbish and stuff. That's where we found all the bottles. And there's a little kind of route where people would go down and put out their little boats, and there's another way that you can get into the river down there. I'll just turn the corner so you can kind of see it a bit. So you can kind of see there. It's a nice little tree you see right in the center. You know, you're taking a nice little picture as well. But again, we'll keep going. Coming in towards a bit of civilization now. Should be able to probably see some people maybe. There's another old type of cottage. I think people are just using it more as a shed nowadays. Some guys living in there too. They like to give me the evil eye sometimes. I don't know why, you know. But they're just your old kind of typical Irish kind of boreen. And it's not too far up now is the at that training football field where the local football team do their training. They play their matches in another pitch, which on the other side of town, which I'll walk to someday as well. You know, we'll do it all. We'll do it all. There's plenty to see and do around Kerry. I could probably make 100 videos just not even leaving a 2-mile radius of my home. There's quite a lot to kind of see and do. I'm coming up here to, I know where there's a nice little blackthorn patch. Usually if like some tourists coming and they want to see blackthorn, I might bring them down here for a walk and show them some blackthorn. Here you have the clubhouse, and you see the training football field where the local team used to play. So you have the goal post there. 15 players versus 15 players. If you kick it between the posts, you get 1 point. If you score a goal, it's worth 3 points. We have a lot of these mushrooms growing as well. These aren't the magic type of mushrooms, but the magic type of mushrooms, they grow a lot at say about September time. And in this particular football field, you know, it's been known that a load of these might pop up. So usually you see a lot of the non-Irish people from the east side of Europe coming along, and they'll be picking up a load of these mushrooms. But here's a nice little area you can kind of see. I'll do a little span across here. So this is where the football training used to go on. My daughter used to be a good football player until she fell out with the manager. It's quite a funny story. She wanted the team to win, but the manager was of the opinion that everyone should get a game and it should be just a bit of fun. But my daughter was very competitive, so there was a football match where they were winning by quite a number of points, and the manager took her off and took all the strong players off and put on the weaker players, and they lost the match. And my daughter wasn't best pleased, and she told the manager that that was a bad decision to make, because it cost them points and it cost them, you know, their position in the where they were trying to qualify for something. I can't remember exactly the details, but yeah, she's a very competitive person. She wants to win. Oh yeah, I'm talking too much. If I passed the blackthorn, there should be more up here. Yeah, there was just by the gate down there. There's some blackthorn. There used to be some here as well. It's kind of. I think there's a better place where I can show you up a bit further on. I can show. Usually you see plenty of rabbits and things around here. Hello, morning. All right, we'll. So, yeah, I think I've passed the blackthorn already. It was down there a bit. Yeah, it's actually down a bit further. As we can get that. You've seen enough blackthorn in this channel. We can show you another day blackthorn. Plenty of nettles. I'll show you these. Anyone who's been to Ireland, be careful of these boys. Nettles, they sting you. And you can make some tea with nettles, which is very good and healthy for you. But you know, anyone who's grown up in Ireland, you know this. If you touch that, you'll come up with all bumps and it'll sting. It's actually quite an annoying thing in Ireland. And the old remedy was you'd get a dock leaf and squeeze the dock leaf and rub it on you. But I don't know, is that too effective? But it seems to make you feel better as well, because anytime I did it, it still had all the bumps. But there's loads of nettles around there. You know, if you're Irish, you know what nettles are. You've probably been stung from a million times. There's loads of nettles now along the boreen up here. So we might just continue up to the top of this boreen, and then my house is not too far away. I might leave you guys at that particular point. And I hope you enjoyed this type of video where it's just me walking around, showing a bit of the scenery, showing what Ireland's like when the weather's particularly good, that is. And hopefully it might, you know, inspire some tourists to come back here. You know, Ireland is pretty dependent on tourism as well. There's not too much going on here. Like, you have companies like Apple and Google, which are Irish company based. They're, you know, for their tax reasons, they're all based here in Ireland. But that's a whole new video, because I think they want to raise the corporation tax rate to 15%, so that these big companies have to pay it. But hello, smaller companies too will be affected. You'll be increasing the tax rate for all companies, not just the big ones. And there's a lot of small businesses in Ireland that they don't want the tax rate to go up. No one wants taxes to go up as well. So usually when you're walking this boreen, you're going to see a lot of dog poo as well. All the dogs walking here will usually do it. So we're going to come out the top of this boreen to the main road that I kind of walked the last day. So just get up here and I'll just use a quick pan around so you can kind of get your bearings and see where you are. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I hope you liked it. I listened to the feedback and I kept my head out of it. I got the gimbal working properly. I can just kind of point it and walk and different things like that. So we've come now again to the main road here, and this is the Tralee Road, which will bring you into Killorglin. That's the road to Tralee. There's the Lamb Rangers Clune pitch. That's a little landmark. So in signing off, guys, thanks for watching. Okay, bye bye.